Hi, Kelly.
Hello from London.
Hello from London. We like it. Is your weather like ours? It's a little cloudy but warm.
It seemed to get a little better, but being in London and being anything other than cloudy and a little damp, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I'm so glad that you're joining us from that part of the world. It's good to have international conversations. So we have
Yeah.
everybody joining in, and I'm gonna continue to wave and say hi as people join us. But for those who are already on, this is our Tuesday talk with the very own Kelly Hoey, author of Build Your Dream Network, and really the source to understand how to do that. She is one of the most spectacular people I know. There's her book, Build Your Dream Network.
My copy of it.
And
hopefully if you're reading it, it looks like this.
There you go. Make lots of notes, mark it up, get your highlighter ready. And she's also been lauded one of the top 25 must-know women on Twitter, and just really active on socials, very generously sharing her knowledge. And so we're really excited to have that and part of our conversation today. So thank you for being here with us.
Oh, my thrill. This is like such a thrill. And I get to see you, my friend, which is...
You get to see, there we go. We get to see each
always good.
Great. Well, so tell me, right now, like, I'm so excited to talk to you and understand, but tell me, what are you excited about right now? Because what people don't realize is Kelly travels the world regularly. And I think she gives Up in the Air. Is that the movie? George Clooney. I think you give him his run for money on who travels more miles. I think probably all of the flight attendants know you by name. But so being so worldly and being in this like Build Your Dream Network, what are you excited about right now?
You know what I'm excited about? And I saw this question, and I'm like, oh dear, what am I excited about? You know what? I'm really excited how soft skills are finally getting the credit that they deserve. And I'm thinking about that today because I was in Harrods and in Harvey Nichols, and extraordinary customer service, extraordinary human skills by some of the employees there. When I travel, I want to say flight attendants who go above and beyond rather than you want pretzels and what do you want to drink. The articles, the things I'm reading, where the human skills, like we're craving human connections,
yeah,
and seeing that there is, finally, we're seeing that, I want to say, the return on investment, the bottom line, the business need for that. And it excites me because we see that. It also kind of scares me because we're saying there's a deficit of those things. So I'm like, shit, the one time those skills are getting their due is at a time that we as human beings are lacking in them.
And it's so true. So in my book, I talk all about how do you build the human connection digital age. And it is really important. And it is what helps brands stand out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that human touch and getting customer service and knowing that you're valued and that somebody is valuing taking that extra step to make sure that you're catered to. And personalization is such a big trend right now, and customer service leads right into that.
Yep. Well, I mean, just thinking today, like in Harrods, where we had this wonderful, like trying to find a shirt, and this wonderful salesperson was like, here, let's help you navigate the 5th floor. You know what? You're on the wrong floor. Let's take you to the right one. Out of their department, out of their, like, whatever. People say, why are you going to shop, in person? It's because, guess what? Someone takes you and shows you things. So it was
exactly.
amazing.
And it's really important that you bring that up. Brands have to recognize there's certain expectations in physical, right?
Right,
that you don't
right,
get online,
right.
right? So it's that personalized feels. It's the neighborhood feel. It's them knowing your name. It's them knowing what you're looking for. It's catering to that. But I think it's synonymous and how you talk about how you build network, right? And the authentic, genuine aspects of it. And so I always joke with you, if I could put a valuation on your relationships and Rolodex, you might be one of the richest people in the world. You'd make that $1 billion list. So how do you go about cultivating that? And what are some tips that you can give business owners?
You know what? You just have to be prepared to invest the time, and that you understand that it is as important as an investment as in the selection of the real estate, the selection of I'm going to say the products you're going to have on the shelf. It is part of, I want to say, your business brand and who you are, knowing that those relationships are going to return, more than tenfold. I think of an example of a gentleman I met on my book tour who had been laid off, and he was just a guy in his early 50s. And when he was laid off, and he was a sales guy, his employer said, take all the time you need. Take all the time you need to clean out your office. And he said, you know what, I'll be done in a minute. He walked in. He was old school. He still had a Rolodex. This was a year ago, and for people who don't know what a Rolodex is, it's this thing you used to keep like all your business cards in.
I know, I have a stack of business cards that need to be in a Rolodex.
So he went in, he took his Rolodex, and he left. Because he said to me, Kelly, if I have the relationships, I can do anything. And so if you want feedback, like genuine feedback on your business, if you want to find an employee, you want an introduction, you need to have relationships. And you just have to make it a priority and a priority investment. And I think that's one of those things that people sort of think, I think we'll blame digital, we'll blame, kind of the bad rap that networking has. People think it's like a swipe and something instantaneous, and relationships take time. Like, think of the two of us. How long have we known each other since, I would think, was he president of 85 Broad? So what, 2008?
2008, 2009. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you found me on Twitter, and then we became friends in the real world.
Right. And so it's like the things, people you will drop things for, people you will, I want to say, make introductions, whatever, because of the length of time that you have known them. So I'd say to business owners, this has got to be as important a part of your branding and your business operations as everything else that you do. For
sure. And as you think through that, like, I see, what is that quote that you use? Stop committing random acts of networking. What does that mean? Like, it sounds very criminal.
Well, it is in my mind, because wasting time, whether it's yours or somebody else's, is, a crime. We can't get our time back. So when I say stop committing random acts of networking, what I mean by that is, and for people watching this, think about a time that you have shown up at a networking event and you think to yourself, oh my God, why am I here? Who thought this was a good idea? Boy, I'm glad I've got my mobile phone, because I can look at it and not to talk to anybody, right? Like, when have we had those? And so what I say to people is, like, what's your purpose? What's your goal? What is the intention that you have where you need to meet other people? And why don't you go back to that? Like, am I looking to get new customers? Am I looking to find employees? Am I looking to get industry insights? Okay, where and who are the people that I can get those from? Now, where are they hanging out? Because you really want to be, like, pick your networking tactic as your third piece of your plan. And otherwise, think about what your intention is, because the way you're going to build the best relationships, the ways you're going to, stop committing random acts of networking, the way you're going to get the most value is if you are intentional, purposeful, and authentic. And you can only do that if you've thought through while you're undertaking certain activities.
I think it's so important to be mindful of that, to have a filter too, right?
Right.
And then also, networking and relationships and partnerships are two-sided, right? So as authentic you need to be, in understanding what you need, you should also be authentic in what you give.
Exactly. And you can only do that if you understand why you're undertaking an activity. And if you think you were going to undertake an activity, like you're going to walk in and someone's going to give you a job, or if you're going to walk in and someone's going to miraculously hand you a piece of business, it's not going to be authentic. But if you're there to say, ultimately, I'm here to get more customers, but I know why I'm here. It's to learn more about this organization. It's to contribute time to this organization. It's funny, I interviewed one of the case study interviews and networking roadmaps in my book in the past week, and it'll all be in my newsletter that comes out. But Jennifer Johnson Scalzi moved to New York, knew nobody, knew no one. And she needed to build a new network for a line of business. Now, she knew that she had to meet people within a certain industry, and she needed to build relationships. Yes, there was a fully selfish self-focused
Right.
outcome, right, to build a line of business. But she threw herself into, it was in that case, it was the legal industry. She threw herself into the Legal Marketing Association, and she didn't just show up and hand out business cards and say, hey, I'm a recruiter. Hey, you want to give me, one new job. Instead, she got involved with the organization. She found out ways to help. She learned who other people were. She talked to them about their career ambitions, their business ideas, so that she could then say, you know what, I got some suggestions and ideas, and could make really valuable connections for them that were also valuable for her. Right. So I think there's a way of executing your self-focused, me,
right.
kind of way in these things. But, when you know why you want to do something, I think you can be more intentional and purposeful in selecting the right opportunities, because at the end of the day, you do have to help other people reach their goals.
Absolutely. It is definitely a give and take. And if you're strategic and authentic about it, it's a very natural synergy most of the time.
Right. Right.
But both sides. So I'm looking at some questions we got here. So today founders tend to also be the face of the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they become the company's main ambassador in that aspect, so to speak. So what are some helpful tips you have or approaches you have in being a genuine and authentic ambassador if you're the face of your brand, which is a crucial element in building out partnerships and networks?
Well, first of all, it's the smart person asking that question, realizing that you are. I'm thinking about another conversation I've had, and I'll send you the link to send out to people as well, which was with Lauren Milian, who was on Quit Your Day Job. And she talked about a founder in our interview. She talks about a founder who was on that show who neglected social media, but neglected it in a really bad brand building way. Like it was like almost like the picture, the guy who's in Times Square, like urban cowboy in his underwear with the cowboy boots.
Where is he?
How do you miss him? But anyway, this founder on his Facebook page, that's all he had was like a picture of him in his underwear playing a guitar. And You're like, whoa, this is really bad signaling. Mm-hmm. First of all, use the privacy and close this down if you're not using it actively. But what is this saying to customers? What is this saying to potential investors? What is this? So I think the first thing as, a founder is to realize, right, my networking is part of my brand. What is the brand I am, indicating right now as a founder? And how is that going to be perceived by investors, customers, potential hires, potential partners? And maybe there's aspects of your life that you need to keep, somewhere else other than posting.
Like the bathroom shots. That tends to get a little crazy.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think that's, the best advice I can say is realizing that your brand and how you network is part of your business now. So, sort of use that filter every time, before you go and post something and say whether or not this is part of your brand.
Right. Exactly. It's getting a little crazy in here. We have this amazing sound system behind us.
Called New York City.
Exactly. I'm gonna see. Let me see. Maybe I can do this mid-video. I'm gonna do this mid-video. See if it helps. Okay. So maybe this will help the situation a little bit. So we talked about things like, don't post bathroom photos of you on Instagram and stuff like that if you're the face of your company. But what are some other no-nos when it comes to networking? Like some key, like if you had a list of top 3, like, can I pick your brain? I know you.
Okay. All right. Number one no is thinking that there is a one size fits all in terms of either a business pitch or if you are asking to go and speak with someone. Like that generic networking advice. Hey, can I pick your brain over coffee? I don't know why people do that. I just think it's annoying as, anyway, what I would say instead is if you understand why you want to talk to someone, right, do the research, right? So you can ask them specifically what it is you want to know and why they're the best person to answer that question. Let them decide how they're going to give you that information. Are they going to jump on a Skype? Are they going to, email you the answer? Are they going to say, God, come by my office and let's have a coffee. This is going to take a while. Let them decide how they want to deliver it. You ask the better question. So that's like, don't sort of say, hey, Melissa, your career is interesting. Can I pick your brain over coffee? Read Melissa's book, read her blogs, watch Tuesday Talks, see what else is out there, and then ask Melissa a better question. And then you decide to say, hey, here's where you'll find the answer, or hey, let me explain exactly how I moved from Wall Street to what I'm doing today. Do it that way. Don't do it, as I say, pick your brain over coffee. Another massive networking mistake I see people make is the failure to follow up. And by that, I mean, not the follow up, hey, Melissa, that was great being on, Tuesday Talks. Thanks so much for inviting me to be your guest, is some other follow up. If as a result of this, someone emails me and offers me an opportunity, I should follow up with you and say, hey, Melissa, guess what? I was on your Tuesday Talk, and a result of this happened. Right. Too often when we don't hear back from someone, like say it's for a job interview, or if it's a business partnership, some sort of a business, exchange, and we don't hear back from the other person, we give up. And so you got to understand people's lives are messy and complicated and busy, and, pets get sick and vacations get had and whatever happens. Follow up with someone. Just because they don't answer you that one time doesn't mean, all is lost.
Exactly. I think follow up, follow through, all of that is so important.
Yeah.
And that's how you build relationship too. Because like you said, it's not about that one-off interaction. It's about, the continuous relationship that happens over weeks, over months, over years, right? That's
right.
That's really what networking is. So
I was going to say, I was going to say on follow through, like one of the things I had and I'm sure many of your Tuesday Talk, watchers have had this experience. You think you have a handshake deal with someone, mm-hmm. and then it goes silent. And I mm-hmm. had one of those that went silent for close to 6 months. Handshake deal. And so I found ways to follow up because, it was back when I had the Startup Accelerator and they wanted to get involved with the programming, and that programming was still going to go ahead. So, other than the, hey, I'm glad we're going to have this deal. Let me know what I need to send you, to, hey, do you still want to do this partnership? What do you do? And so I thought, let me just keep the person posted. And so for close to 6 months, I did that when they finally responded. And their first words on their email response was, thank you. Thank you for keeping me informed. I am so sorry to have been, MIA.
Right.
But their company went through a big reorganization. Mm-hmm. And this person had a really hard struggle dealing with that. Right. And so being considerate and kind and sending the email communication that I would want to receive, but my continuous follow up and follow through on all of this meant that we could pick up where we'd left off.
And I think that, because our head of strategy talks about this all the time. And when he's working with, building relationship and lead generation, and, it's purposeful follow-up, right? Mm-hmm. And right. Every email shouldn't have an ask. Sometimes it's just like, oh, this article is really interesting and relevant to conversation we had. I thought I'd share it with you.
Bingo.
Right? So exactly. Because I think it goes back to the authenticity and the
right.
follow-up. That's important.
Yeah, because particularly something like a business relationship, a business partnership, that's not a one and done. That's not like a, one-time advertising campaign. Hey, we need this spokesperson or whatever, or, we need this single location for this, TV shoot or, whatever. You're hoping it's going to be a long-term relationship. So imagining it that way as a relationship, as opposed to a transaction. And that kind of consideration makes such a difference.
Absolutely. I appreciate it on the other end too. I've learned, I feel like the audience has learned so much, and I'm getting a lot of thumbs up in the conversation, and we're going to have a recap of this. If people want to follow up with you after this call, what's the best way for people to follow you? How do they sign up for your newsletter? All that good stuff.
All that good stuff. Well, you know what? If you go to my website, which is jkellyhoey.co, I think there's a link in my Instagram account, which is jkellyhoey. If you go there, there is all sorts of content and information. There's information and links to my social handles. There is also various contact forms, and big secret, they come right to my inbox. So email me through the website, and I'm happy to answer any questions that are point to things. So yeah.
And follow you on Twitter. You're very active on socials. Absolutely. So you definitely need to follow Kelly on Twitter, because she is always sharing generously her knowledge. And so an off-work knowledge question, because you are so worldly.
Uh-oh.
What are the top 2 or 3 cities you're really excited about right now? to visit?
Well, I'd feel badly if I didn't say London since I'm here right now. You know, kind of getting spring and that's all awesome. So, absolutely love London. Was chatting with someone here in London and he was also spent time in Toronto. The changes in Toronto where I lived for 7 years, always gets me excited. And, then, you know, can't go without mentioning one of our favorite places, Melissa. Love Aruba.
I
Absolutely.
love Aruba too. We need to go back
We need,
immediately.
we could do this from the beach. Okay, we're going to
We
get
need to
on
do
it.
the next one from the beach.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
everybody agrees.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need
yeah,
some beach
yeah.
shoes in there. Okay,
Exactly.
good. So I have my itinerary of travel. I have my tips of not doing random acts of networking, and everybody knows how to follow up with you now.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
so thank you so much for joining us. I always love chatting with you and getting your little scoops of knowledge. And
Always fun.
this is going to live on our Insta stories for the next 24 hours, and then an edited version will live long term on our website. So I will be sure to share those links when they're ready.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.